Hi and welcome. My name is Isam. I'm the lead design architect at ISD Architects. In this video, I would like to talk about the development review process. Any developer or builder of commercial sites or commercial buildings uh, know that in order to get their building built and approved by the building department, it has to go through the hoops of development review process. There's no escape from that. And the to be quite honest, the process is complicated. You don't get a straight answer. The website of the City of Toronto and other municipalities, Mississauga, Brampton, Oakville, and other municipalities piles up the information, but it doesn't quite sort them out in a clear and decisive way. The Ontario Association of Architects has issued a sort of a guideline of a study that they performed on the issue of the site plan approval, and they found part of the conclusions was that it is so diverse and complicated, and it lacks some clarity. And I believe that if you're a savvy developer or a builder, you know that by now. So in this video, my aim is to lead you through an overview of the process. If you know it, then it's a refresher. If you don't, then probably it's a good starting point for you to understand or get a grip on this otherwise a little bit complicated process. So I'll try to tackle the question here about how to start your building approval process efficiently. Without understanding the development review process, it would be very hard. It would be sometimes futile because you keep going back to square one and you keep changing things that should have been avoided in the first place, uh, either by your architect or if you want to do them yourself and then get through the site plan approval process and then hire an architect. It depends on the complexity of the project, to be quite honest. The second issue I want to talk about is the development, meaning of development or the definition of development. Uh, the City of Ottawa, in their website, defines the development as a broad term that encompasses activities that result in a change of land use, that's number one, construction, addition to a building, or the creation of a parcel of land. All of these activities, of course, you can do sometimes one of them or sometimes a mixture of different aspects. For example, you would need to divide the land and create a parcel before you start talking about the zoning issues or the setbacks or the number of car park stalls and so on and so forth. So the graph that is on the drawing shows a little glimpses of what normally is produced at this stage, which is statistics on the right-hand side of your screen about the parking spaces, about the GFA, lot coverage, the normal issues that you normally see in a small residential project. But also we talk about the massing and the site plan, which is one of the criteria or one of the requirements of the municipality. Um, uh, I would like also to talk about the STAR process, which is the STAR process applies to the most significant planning applications, large buildings, um, and or change to the official plan. Uh, and they call it official plan amendments. And rezoning, for example, you want to turn it from residential to commercial, from commercial to industrial, from industrial to uh, uh, offices, and so on and so forth. So this falls under the STAR process. Also, if you are a condominium or a residential developer, then you know that plans of subdivision, for example, also requires a STAR process. Site plan control if the area that you're planning to build in is within the site plan control area by the city or the municipality, then it goes through the STAR process. And there are some part lot control exemptions, they call it. It also falls within that. But this is the general view of the process. It starts with as you see in the green box, the pre-application consultation. Any municipality would highly recommend that you start with this process. You apply to talk to a planner. Uh, and that discussion is invaluable in my view. If you need to take your architect, if you need to take your planner, if you need to take your designer, or you go and attend the meeting yourself or a representative of your company, then a minutes of meeting and notes should be taken down because this is a very important meeting. Of course, the planner would provide you with zoning notice, highlighting some problems, and upon which you can proceed and fix them and reapply. And on the top right-hand side, you see the planning application. There are two ways, or two applications. One is called the zoning certificate review, and the other one is a preliminary project review. And you can click on the link or jot down the link of the City of Toronto to know more about the planning application, which route you want to take. But the third component of the STAR process is community and agency notification. And then there is the decision if you're going to the Committee of Adjustment for rezoning or exceeding the GFA, or you fall within a hydro corridor or ravine. There are hundreds of issues literally that could affect that process. So if you're going to the Committee of Adjustment, then the decision comes out at this stage. Then there is the post-approval. As I said, I'm not going to detail this process, but this is a general, it comprises of 5 phases or 5 components. Now, the preliminary zoning review application, which we just mentioned, it is advisable to go and get the zoning certificate. And it has its own certain conditions, but also you can choose to apply for a preliminary project review, PPR. So for the zoning certificate, it is required to make an application for a complete application of bill. So the zoning certificate has to be part of the building permit. So if you apply for a building permit, you have all the plans, you have all the sections, elevations, site plan, but that site plan has not been approved, then the building department will receive your application and then will send it for zoning certificate application first. And they start talking about zoning issues. So they send you notes. And then when everything is clear and you kind of tweak and massage your building, or you do some measures in order to solve the zoning issues, then only then they can give you the zoning certificate, and then you move forward to the building permit. Now, the preliminary project review it has the same requirements, but it could be done beforehand. It's not part of the final permit, building permit, and it applies or requires the same requirements as the zoning certificate. The requirements for site plan approval is actually has many aspects. Now, the SPA is the final site plan approval, the final application for a site plan, and it requires basic elements. Now, these elements differ from a municipality to a municipality, from a region to a region, but they share, I would say 95%, they share the same basic requirements, which is a survey. And the survey, it's not comprehensive survey, but it has to cover 2 aspects. The first one is the boundary plan, boundary plan of survey, they call it, and also the topography or the topographic survey draft, or if you're doing a condominium, then a draft plan of subdivision that is also required for a condominium. Here, we're not talking about condominium. I might talk about condominiums and small residential projects in future videos. The other aspect or other requirement of the site plan approval plans requirements is the architectural. Of course, it is rigorous for architectural drawings. It requires context plans, site and building elevations, detailed building colored elevations. So in the site plan approval, you need colored elevations and materials assigned to the elevations. And this is an important part, and the architect play a good role in trying, because there are aspects about aesthetics, there are aspects about streetscape, there are aspects about harmonizing your building with the context, uh, with the neighborhood, with the community, the massing, and all of that is required for the city planners to understand that you are not going against the grain. You're not suggesting something that is not in line with the zoning bylaws and also the master plan or the official plan. Also floor plans, complete floor plans, site and building sections. So everything that you normally provide for a building permit, but without details, without construction details, insulation, foundation, etc. It's the building envelope, floor plans, the top view, the site plan, obviously, and some sections, they would require perspective if you are building a large building or a large development of over 4,000 square meters, and that's huge. So in that case, they would like to see what's going on in a bird's eye view or perspective that shows the context, the, the feel of the whole thing and how it works together as an environment. Also, site servicing, site engineer, civil engineer that provides you with a stormwater management report if required. The basic would be site grading to see how the stormwater is going to move within the site and to the neighboring sites, and also how much pressure it exerts on the current stormwater system in the location you're in. Erosion and sediment control plan for swales, for cliffs, for many other scenarios. They want to know that the soil is intact and will not be faced with erosion. And this is basically about the site servicing and also the landscaping. They would require lighting, soft landscape, tree prevention plan, a conceptual idea about the landscaping. Go to our website. You'll see the links in blue. There are two links, and it's www.isdarchitects.com. You click on this link and you go and you'd see that page that shows on the right hand side. And there is an orange box that you can click on, and then you'll be taken to a small questionnaire where you can answer a few questions actually, just to know that how developed your plans are, even mentally speaking, and then we can schedule a free session either at your site or at the office, and then we can take it from there. This is not there's no obligation in this, and I believe it can help you a lot because as I said, it draws the map, the road map for you and gives you some alternatives. It doesn't talk about design. It doesn't talk about planning or zoning. It talks about what is the best way that you can take to make your project realistic, fast, and economic. So go ahead, visit our website, www.isdarchitects.com. Click on the book my free session, strategy session, and then we'll hope to see you on the other end and start talking about your plans. And hopefully we can fit together and we can work together for the benefit of building great communities here in Ontario. Thanks very much for watching and hope to see you soon.